Okay, this is the calculator section of the 2017 positive and negative integers exam, and it starts from question 4, and it says the Dead Sea in the Jordan Valley is 397 meters below sea level, while Mount Kosciuszko is 2,230 meters above sea level. So I'm going to draw a little diagram here, and I've got 0, that's sea level, and I've got the Dead Sea is 397 meters below, and I've got Mount Kosciuszko at 2,230 meters above sea level. So the question is, what is the difference in height between these two levels? So I need to work out what this distance here is from 2,230 to negative 397. So to 397 meters below. So this distance here from 0 to 2,230, this is actually 2,230 meters, and the distance between 0 and negative 397 meters, that distance is 397 meters. Okay, now, well, that height difference is 397 meters. It's like, for example, if you're at a shopping center and you're 2 floors below ground and you want to go to 3 floors above ground, and I might say, what is the difference in levels between 2 floors below ground and 3 floors above ground? Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The difference in levels is 5 levels, because I've got 3 levels there from 0 to 3, and I've got 2 levels from level 2 below ground to ground level. So it's the same thing. So what I have to do with these numbers 2230 and 397 is I have to add them together. So 2230 is that distance and 397 meters is that distance. And so therefore the difference in levels, the difference in height between these two things is 2,627 meters. However, if you don't want to draw a diagram, you can just do it using subtraction, because difference does mean to subtract. So we'll just do the taller like the taller thing, which is Mount Kosciuszko. So 2,230, take away the smaller thing or the lower thing. Now the Dead Sea is 397 meters below sea level, so I've got the difference between 2230, so difference means to take away, but this 397 has to be written as negative 397. So 2230, take away a negative means to plus. So I go 2230 plus 397 is 2,627 meters. Okay, now with the next question, just when you're using your calculator, you have to make sure that you know how to add input and negative, and input the difference between a negative and a takeaway symbol. So on your calculator, we've got negative 5 plus 2 times negative 12. So we just enter that as follows. So, and then I'm going to do it with just without a calculator, okay? So this is the negative button here, it's there. So it's not this, this is takeaway, this is negative. So negative 5, okay, and I'll just try and get the screen as well. So I've got negative 5, then I'm going plus, so I go plus. Now I've got 2 times, so 2 times, and notice I've got a bracket, so I'll put my bracket and do negative 12. So I put my bracket is here. Now this is the symbol for negative, you don't press minus, so this is negative 12, close bracket. Now let me look at my screen and look at your question, make sure they look the same. Negative 5 plus 2 times negative 12, yes, that looks the same. Press equals and I get negative 29. Okay, negative 29. But if I was to do this without a calculator, with BODMAS, I have to do multiplication first, multiplication and division before addition and subtraction. So I've got negative 5 plus, now 2 times negative 12. A positive times a negative is a negative. So I've got negative 5 plus, the answer to the pink underlined bit is negative 24. So that is negative 5. Now a plus and a negative next to each other becomes a minus or a takeaway. So I've got negative 5 take away 24. So negative 5 take away 24 is negative 29, because you're going down 5, down 24. Or you're sitting at negative 5 on the number line, you're going back another 24 units. Now the next question, 3 plus 18 minus 12 divided by 6. You could do this without a calculator if you wanted. So we've got 3 plus. Now we do the 18 minus 12 first, and 18 minus 12 is 6, and we put divided by 6. So I've just done this bit first, the 18 minus 12 bit first, okay? Now, so that is 3 plus, now 6 divided by 6 is 1, so it's 3 plus 1, which is 4. Let's see how we do that on our calculator. So let's get the calculator, and we do 3 plus. Now I need to enter a fraction. So on my calculator, I have this button here, the fraction button. But on some other calculators, it's written as A/B or A/B/C. So I've got 3 plus, I press my fraction button, and that comes up on my screen. And so you can see that this is blinking here. There's a blink there on the numerator. So I'm on the numerator and I press 18, take away 12. Now let's see what is happening with the calculator. It looks like that. And so there, the cursor is blinking there at the end there. So to get to the denominator, I need to press the arrow down. Now on your calculators, I believe it's the white keys rather than the one key here. You've got a white key on the left, a white key on the right, and an up and down white key. And the denominator I need to press is 6. Now notice I'm still blinking underneath at the denominator. If I want to get out of the fraction, I just press this arrow to the right. So that looks like my question, okay? And I should get the same answer of 4, which I do, okay? Now, the fraction button, so to enter a fraction, the button will look like this on your calculator, or it will look like this, A, B, C, or A/B. It could even look like this, okay? So just look for that button, okay? Now, insert grouping symbols to make the following statement true. Okay, so let's just see what we've got. This is a little bit of a tricky one. You can try putting brackets. Let's say we try brackets here at the beginning. Now you can use your calculator to do this. It's a calculator section. So you could use your calculator and go as follows, bracket, or you can just do it in your head. We've got 12, take away 4, close bracket, divided by 2, and then plus 6. Your calculator knows how to do order of operations. So that's on my calculator. It looks exactly the same as that. And I'm getting 10. So that's incorrect. Okay, so I'm getting 10. I'm meant to get 1. That's not right. You might try to move the bracket to the middle section. But we could actually do this without a calculator if we wanted. 12 take away 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 12 take away 2. And then we've done the bracket. Plus 6. 10 plus 6, 16. Well, that's not right. We're supposed to get 1. Or you could try and put 12 take away 4 divided by 2. We can try the bracket at the end. Let's just do this one on the calc. So we've got, let's try that one. 12 take away 4, sorry. So I've got 12 take away 4. Now I'm pressing divided by bracket 2 plus 6, close bracket, and I get 11.5. That's obviously not the right answer. Okay, so these aren't working, one set of brackets. We might want to try 2 lots of brackets next. So we could put brackets here and brackets there. Let's try that. So 12 take away 4 is 8, divided by 2 plus 6 is also 8. And 8 divided by 8 is 1, so this one works, okay? And you can enter that on your calculator to check if you wanted. Remember using your brackets. Bracket 12 take away 4. Sorry, 12 take away 4, close bracket, see, we've got that so far, divided by symbol, open bracket, 2 plus 6, close bracket, and you can see that is, sorry, what you want to enter. Looks the same as that, and you get 1 as your answer, okay? All right, next page now. First question, the maximum temperatures at Perisher over the last week are as follows. And we can see all those temperatures there. Some of them are positive temperatures, some of them are negative temperatures. And the question is, what is the difference between the highest and the lowest temperature? So the highest temperature is this temperature here, positive 3 degrees. and the lowest temperature is -9 degrees. Now there's a few ways you can do this question. So I'm going to put 0 here on my number line. 3 is my highest temperature, and -9 is my lowest temperature. So then it asks, what is the difference between the highest and the lowest temperatures? So you can do it using, you can answer this question using a drawing like this. Now I need to know the difference between this between 3 and -9. So the difference between 3 and 0 is 3, and the difference between 0 and -9, that is a jump or a difference of 9. Okay, so the difference between those two numbers will be 3 plus 9, 3 and 9, which is 12. However, if you do not want to do this by drawing a diagram, I recommend that you do draw a diagram. But you know that difference means to subtract. So difference means to subtract. So what is the difference between the lowest and the highest temperature? So we do the highest temperature, which is 3, take away, which means difference, and the lowest temperature is -9. So 3 take away -9 is 3 plus 9, which is 12. Okay, so that's another way you can do it. But I like to use a diagram for this question, that there's a difference of 3 between 0 and 3 degrees, and the difference between -9 and 9 is 9. Okay? Okay, now question 5b. It says, consider the following. When you subtract a negative integer from a negative integer, the answer is always negative. Is this statement true or false? Give an example. Well, let's try something. So we need to subtract a negative integer from a negative integer. So let's try -2 is my negative integer. I'm going to subtract, that's take away. Let's say -5. So I've got -2, take away -5. Now, we know that if you take away a negative, so I'm going to put that -5 in brackets. When you take away a negative, it becomes a positive. So -2, take away -5 is -2 plus 5, and I get -2 plus 5 is +3. So in this case, I'm not getting a negative, but there are times when you will get a negative. I'll give you an example. If I did -5 take away -2, so -5 take away -2, I would get -5. Taking away a negative means to add. So that would be -5 plus 2, which is -3. So, but the question says, when you subtract a negative integer from a negative integer, the answer is always negative. Well, it's not always negative. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes the answer is negative, so the answer is false, okay? You would have to show this first one to show that that you sometimes get a positive answer. Okay, but we can see sometimes you get a positive answer, sometimes you get a negative answer. Now for question C. A diver is at a height of -90 meters from the surface of the sea. And during the diving exercise, the diver rises 50 meters, falls 138 meters, and then rises once again by 38 meters. Write a number sentence using numbers and operation symbols to represent this movement. So he starts at -90. During the exercise, he rises 50. So we go plus 50. Then he falls 138. So we take away 138. And then rises once again by 35. So that's a plus 35. And that's how you write that. That's your number sentence. And that's your number sentence there. So now the answer question is, what is the diver's final height from sea level? So you'll just do this all on your calculator. -90 plus 50, take away 138 plus 35, all on your calculator. And when we evaluate this, we get -143. So my answer is -143. But the question says, what is the diver's height from sea level? The negative means we are below sea level, so we are 143 meters below sea level. Okay? For question 5D, two numbers have a product of 24, but their sum is -11. What are the two numbers? Now, look at the sum, it's negative. So If you want two numbers to multiply to give 24, you would immediately think 8 times 3. Yes, that is 24. But if I add those two numbers, 8 plus 3 is positive 11. So that is not the answer to that, but it's almost there. Remember, a positive times a positive is a positive, but a negative times a negative number is also a positive. So negative 8 times negative 3 is positive 24. And if I want to sum them or add them, negative 8 plus negative 3, well, I've got negative 8. Now, plus negative is take away 3. And negative 8, so when you see a plus and a negative next to each other, it's a takeaway. Negative 8 take away 3 is negative 11. So it looks like my two numbers are negative 8 and negative 3. Okay, so this was almost correct. You could start there, but that works, but this doesn't. So you just have to remember that a negative times a negative is also a positive. Okay, now for question 5E. A quiz contestant gained 100 points for every correct answer and lost 50 points for every incorrect answer. She answered the first 12 questions correctly, but the rest of her answers were wrong. If her final score was 750, how many questions did she get wrong? So let's look at our first 12 questions correct. So the points for the first 12 questions would be 100 times 12, which is 1,200 points. However, the final score was 750, so then the points that were lost would be 1,200 take away 750, which is 450 points lost. Now, however, a person loses 50 points for every wrong answer. So we have to see how many, so the number of wrong answers. Remember, you're losing 50 points for every wrong answer, so you have to see how many 50s go into 450. And 450 divided by 50 is 9. So therefore there were 9 wrong answers. Okay?